funny. It's a good thing. We're broadcasting.
Cool.
I love that. You are, guys. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting us know. So clearly we haven't worked out all of the kinks, but at least we got started on time.
We're big in Germany.
We're big. We're big in Japan too, I hear. Anyway. Well, people are already launching right into the topic. We haven't even announced it yet. That's fantastic.
Well, yeah.
All right. So, yes, we had a great reception to the first episode. Even though, have you posted the video for that thing yet?
I haven't.
What the hell is wrong with you?
People
are craving the Echo Screen Live.
Okay, good. We are.
And you're just totally killing their addictions.
It's a boner killer, I know.
Oh man, that's not what I expected you to say.
Hey, you know what though?
What?
You should probably explain what this is doing behind.
Oh yeah, so Rue had a flash of inspiration.
Brilliant.
Would you call it a flash of inspiration? What would you call it?
A flash of something.
Okay, it's a flash of something. Luckily, the robe stayed on. The point is, though, we're actually, so those of you that don't know and live in foreign countries where such things are not celebrated, so on and
Heathens.
so forth. This is Super Bowl week. In case you couldn't tell from my incredibly sexy garb and your ridiculously ugly sweatshirt.
Bill Belichick,
There
football genius.
Bingo. That this is indeed Super Bowl week. And we decided this would be a pretty neat little thing to have going on in the background. This is actually NFL 2K5 from ESPN, right?
Yes.
Published by Sega.
With Terrell Owens on the cover.
With Terrell Owens on the cover,
Hey,
which is very exciting.
remember Terrell Owens?
Terrell Owens, when he played for the Eagles, which is fantastic.
As it's known in France, El Bowl Super.
Right, something like that.
Or something like that.
I don't know. I have no idea what they call it in France. They probably don't even watch it there. But anyway, though the point is, we decided we may just play out the battle royale here on the screen behind us as we talk through this week's Echo Screen, which might have a sports theme. I heard some rumors.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
All right, put the game out of the way so that people
Yes.
can... There you go. People can see the
All
TV
right,
behind us.
So basically, as we talk nonsense, we're going to have the Patriots and the Eagles... Or, I'm sorry. The Patriots and the Giants...
Well, all right, I'm taking that as a good sign.
Fight it out. Well, yeah, I would too, since they actually beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. They're going to fight it out for video game supremacy, computer.
And see if you can detect how extremely ugly that looks. Because when I first saw this feed from the PS2, I thought, man, how could that be just basically a generation old at this point?
This PS2 is cranking.
Yeah, it is cranking up. I wish you could hear it. Wow, it's crazy out here. Anyway, so we might talk about some sports games
PSX
today.
guy needs to be banned?
PSX guy is right on the money. So anyway, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're going to do what we normally do. We're going to start off with a little bit of some headline stories.
Yes.
The first of which is that the Super Bowl is this week.
Yep.
Now that we got that out of the way, we're also going to talk for a little bit about sport games, but we're specifically going to talk about realism in sport games and kind of how that's affected things over the years and how that's changed and how that makes the overall enjoyment of sports games or the lack thereof. And then, as we always do and always will do,
Naked dance.
We'll do a naked dance. No, I'm not doing it. That's not in my contract either. I'm not doing that. But what we will do is we will absolutely take some of your questions, which you can submit via the chat.
Patriots will receive.
Oh, good for them. So I can see Tom Brady smiling about that.
He's happy.
Oh wait, he never smiles. Anyway, so
never mind. I was gonna say something about
don't say anything about a supermodel
girlfriend.
I knew you were gonna say that. Gosh. Anyway, if you want to ask questions to us that we include on our question segment, please just private chat them to us so that we know what's going on. We'll keep a record, or Rue will keep a record, and then we'll answer them selectively in the last segment of the show. Does that sound fair? No. Too bad, because that's exactly what we're doing. All right, so we've got some news stories that are going on this week besides the fact that the Super Bowl is actually happening. What are the top news stories of the day that we want to talk about?
Well, something interesting that came out recently is so the Wii U, Nintendo's new offering.
What?
Is the Wii U.
That came out?
Wii U!
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, that's actually coming out. It's been confirmed by Nintendo. It's going to come out this year, before the end of the year. So that means November.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
Because it's not coming out tomorrow.
So are they
therefore
actually...
it's November.
So are they actually going to duct tape two Wiis together?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's
I was just checking.
It's kind of exponential.
And one will have an HDMI port? No?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried.
You can't ask for that much.
I mean, that's a lot. Anyway, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Yes, so-
Interrupted your thought rudely with my David Jaffe speak.
However, Microsoft and Sony have both said that they are not going to come out with their next console offerings this year.
Right.
Which means, at the very least, next year. Or for Microsoft, that pretty much means next year. For Sony, that means...
God only knows.
So, is this a good move to give Nintendo the head start, basically?
Yes.
Explain yourself.
Oh, okay. Do we had I thought we just answer questions like we do at the end.
No, this is a 5-paragraph essay.
Oh, okay. It's not
short answer.
No, I know. It's not as if I run the show or anything. Yeah, no, that's good. So, I think it is a smart move. I mean, first of all, it's been highly noted by us and others that Microsoft and Sony basically ceded and conceded, I guess I should say, the console war in terms of number of sales to Nintendo long ago. Okay?
Yeah.
They said we're not going to win this particular round. What we will do is try to basically pump as much cash as we can to try to win the fight against each other. I think that's probably a lot about what's informing their decision again. Now, the Wii U is going to be a very powerful machine. There's no question about that. It's going to have a lot of capabilities up and beyond what the Wii is capable of. However, the Wii U is not going to be even in the same league as the Xbox 720 or the PS4.
Well, in what sense? Graphics?
In terms of pure horsepower.
Well, yeah, I think we're hitting a point of diminishing returns on that, though.
You seem to be making a point that you're not actually coming out and saying. So you think it's actually...
I think that we're hitting a point of diminishing returns with the more horsepower, basically.
So I have been making that argument for a few years, but I don't see that making any kind of an effect, except on the... And by the way, Nintendo is feeling the strain and pain of this right now. Because, I mean, look at Nintendo's Q4 earnings. It's not hard to see. I mean, look, if Nintendo better release the Wii U this year, because if they don't release the Wii U this year, the 3DS is going to sink them.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, they're taking a hit on on every console that they sell, but how long has Microsoft and Sony been doing that?
Yes, but Microsoft has a model to take themselves out of that. Nintendo does not.
They're starting now with this Nintendo Network.
So, yeah, you're right. So all that was before, and
now they got microtransactions coming down the pipeline.
I just don't see it.
Not to mention the install base of the 3DS is already higher than the DS at this time.
Then what? The DS Fat?
Well, yeah.
Okay, well, who freaking cares? Nobody bought the DS Fat. That's such a ridiculous.
It sold pretty well.
Get out of here. Look,
they have the install base now. They can sell the games.
That is such a deceptive thing to say. Oh yeah, it's already bigger than the install of the DS. Get out of here. Get out of town.
It's more than you've sold.
That's the Mark Twain lies, damn lies, and statistics right there. That is just insane. Anyway, let's get back on topic. The topic is so I love Nintendo. I wish them nothing but success. And trust me, if the Wii U has a kind of promising offering that I find compelling, I will buy one. There's no question about it. I mean,
you're going to wait in line in the freezing cold?
No, I will not. I will not do that.
And then we can record it?
I will not buy it at launch. I won't do it.
Yeah, you will.
Unless there is something really amazing about it, I will not buy it at launch.
I would be very surprised if there was not a big title of some sort.
There has to be. Unless they're complete idiots.
Well, they were complete idiots with the 3DS, but I think they've learned that lesson.
A lot.
And Iwata came out and said they learned a big lesson from the launch of the 3DS.
Yes. We know how these Japanese executives work. We've seen this.
Hey,
speaking
racist.
Of which, I'm just saying.
Hey,
right? These are traditional Japanese companies run by Japanese businessmen that
colorblind
commit seppuku after their product launch.
Exactly.
Anyway, so maybe not, but in any case, so I think. My point is that Nintendo, regardless of whether the graphics difference makes the difference between the horsepower, whatever the case might be, besides that, I think that Sony and Microsoft take the same stance for this next generation, which maybe Nintendo's going to use as an in. Maybe that's what they're counting on. But they're basically saying, look, get out there, get the gadget people, get the people that are going to buy on the gimmick, get the people that they're always going to have, right? Get grandma to buy the second one. Right, whatever they want to do, because all grandmas have the Wiis now and they're playing golf and all that kind of fun stuff, right? But we're going to go fight it out with each other because this is what real video games are about.
Well,
I'm not saying that Nintendo can't reclaim it. We talked about this in the Weekly Ringer too. I think they can, and they're definitely making a play to. I just don't think they will.
I find it hard to believe that Tom Brady would be 1 of 6 for passing. That's all I got to say.
I don't find that hard to believe at all because our defensive line is just tremendously awesome.
Well, let me end this little news tidbit by saying last generation, console generation,
Yes.
Microsoft came out, a year and a half early,
Yes.
earlier than anyone else on the console,
Yes.
Bringing out their next console.
Apples and oranges, but go ahead.
Sure, but that did give them a huge head start,
It did.
which actually did help them. The
And
Xbox...
the Dreamcast came out in 1999, and it had a really
That was
awesome
before its
novel.
time.
Oh,
That was before its time. Come
It's
on.
amazing how much backstepping you will do to defend Nintendo.
Online gaming.
It is amazing.
Via-
I mean, listen,
via
I'm not a fanboy of
phone
any color.
port.
I just want to play the best games that are out there and find compelling video game experiences. I don't care by who. Your ceaseless devotion to Nintendo is disgusting.
It is not ceaseless.
It's disgusting.
I'm just what am I being
You are
crazy about?
backtracking like crazy. And as soon as
I'm just saying it's an interesting point to think about that Microsoft's head start in this last console generation helped them mightily. Because when the first Microsoft Xbox came out, it was basically a joke.
Yes. Yes.
People making fun of the controller, this, that, and the other.
it was a punchline, right? Yes.
Yes, Halo was very good and basically carried the system.
Oh yeah.
And yes, it did better than
What is Halo?
GameCube.
Is Halo hardware? Does Halo have anything to do with hardware? No, Halo's a game franchise that carries a console.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that have to do with the Xbox 360 launching before
Well,
anybody
I was
else?
getting to that.
Oh,
What did the Xbox 360 have at launch?
The Xbox 360 had Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah, they had crap, right? But because they were so far ahead, that really gave them an install base that helped.
I think that's fair.
And that's not something to be sneezed at. And if Nintendo is smart and they actually have some games worth playing, unlike with the 3DS at launch,
Yep.
this head start could be important.
It could be, and I think you make a good point. I think it could be. My point is, I just don't think it will. I don't think it's going to have that same kind of effect. I think the damage is done for Nintendo. I'm not saying they're damaged goods. I'm not saying that they're dead in the water. I'm not saying that they're going to die. I'm saying that they're going to hold on to their part of the market, and they will do a very good job of recapturing that same segment. But they will not do a tremendous lot to break down the other two.
Zaccarini makes a very good point, though, that in rushing out the 360, they kind of 4th and 10.
Yeah,
They kind of there was all sorts of cooling problems that caused res rings of death and stuff like that, and that's a problem with rushing a product out to market.
That were hardware problems.
So
absolutely.
I don't know. We'll see.
Some of that is also a supply chain issue, right? So one of the reasons that Apple rules the world right now is because of their control.
Damn it.
Is because of their control of the 3-0. Is because of their control of the supply chain, right? And their ability to control the supply chain being something that helps them release products that don't have the same kind of problems that plague the Xbox 360.
Zaccaroni.
So if Nintendo has that same kind of supply chain management, then they probably have a chance. However, I don't think Nintendo's demonstrated that kind of capability in the past.
I think you can scoot over if you're blocking the game for people so they
Well,
can
that's
watch
too
something
bad.
interesting.
This will not be nearly as exciting as the real Super Bowl because this, remember, is 2005.
Yeah, that's true.
Kurt Warner at quarterback for the New York Giants. And I was screaming for Kurt Warner, but I mean, hello. All right, so we have other news to talk about.
Yeah, so Facebook is finally coming out with their IPO, initial public offering.
Yes.
Stocks. They're becoming a public company.
Correct.
Everyone who works for them is going to become a millionaire overnight. Whoop-de-doo. Mark Zuckerberg is going to own the world. That's exciting. So what does this mean? Or why are we talking about this? Well, because there have been just a spate, if that's the correct word, of initial public offerings, initial public offerings from these social media companies and social media related companies. LinkedIn, Zynga.
Yep.
Did Groupon have their offering already? That's not social media, but,
no, but
it's like
similar.
It's like the new rush of web companies. Basically, the first rush since, I guess, the late 90s, the last tech boom.
Right.
The last tech bubble, or web bubble, internet bubble.
Right.
Which makes
For internet
you
businesses,
wonder.
They just had a ton of capital. They were being, just pumped full of cash, and
makes you wonder: is this another bubble?
Yeah, I mean, it really does. And
Is Facebook really worth $600 trillion?
Yeah, well, it's $5 billion.
Or $5 billion is their
but what,
IPO.